Hey everybody. Hello, Stephanie Grams. It is Monday, June 20th, and we continue with our summer sewing business series. Mondays are money and mindset topics. Not the hocus pocus stuff, but just getting into the groove with your sewing business. If you're new to sewing and you want to make money, then definitely follow along and get on the newsletter. It's free at sewpreneur.com. And this is going to be the updated sewing journal, and it will be listed on Etsy fairly soon. I'm adding a little bit more details to it, and I will be removing the old one and updating it with the new one. So keep your eye out for that. The old one that's still on there is still good. I'm just updating it a little bit. All right, guys. So we're going to talk about how can you make money with your sewing skills. Now, if you are new to sewing and you're not really sure or convinced that you can make money with your sewing skills, then definitely, oh, that's me. My timer went off. Whoops. um, then definitely take some of these ideas and work with them. So we'll start with you. If you're new to sewing or you do sew and you've been sewing, but you don't know if it's going to be good enough to make money from, then consider some alternatives to giving up. So basically, and we're frozen. Sorry, if we get frozen, I'll just keep talking and hopefully the internet will catch up with me. And so here's the thing. You have the desire and the skills to sew, right? But you need to make money off of it, or you want to make money off of it. So what you could do is volunteer your sewing for a little bit. And let me get to my list of ideas for you and why I think volunteering might be the answer that you need to make it a business. So one thing that you can do is check out some charity sewing jobs, and jobs meaning you're volunteering, right? You're not really getting paid, so I don't like to say job, but anyways, so consider sewing for a charity. There are several charities on my blog at sewpreneur.com. Excuse me. So definitely look into that, but look into your community. See if somebody needs a volunteer to help with mending clothes. If that's something you want, maybe you want to be a designer or a seamstress, then look to your local community. See if somebody needs help mending clothes. Obviously, you would be volunteering your time, but that doesn't mean that you should foot the bill for the needles, the scissors, the thread, things like that. Um, See if the connection that you have with that need already has those supplies. You could also offer to intern, and this could be a little bit tricky depending on where you live and who you know, but reach out to 4-H, Girl Scouts, Boy Scouts, um, the extension services for your college. I know in Ohio, OSU has like an extension, at least in Tuscarawas County, Ohio, they do. Reach out to that organization and say, hey, you know what? I have some basic sewing skills and knowledge, and I am looking to spend a little bit of time this summer getting better, and I would like to volunteer my time. Can you connect me with an opportunity? If they can't help you, then reach out to your bridal shops and anybody that has tuxedos or rental companies. I know, again, like the town I'm from, which is New Philadelphia, Ohio, they have a large men's shop where they offer alterations. There is several different dress shops within the county, and then downtown New Philly also has a like a tuxedo rental store. So look in your community and see who you can connect with, and just you kind of might have to be the driver of your destiny with this. But if you're already comfortable with your skills and you just want some practice, then look at all of the charities that offer free patterns and tell you what it is that they're looking for. So you have the um let's see here. I have some UK things here, but on my blog I have mostly US. There is I think it's called Lioness, Project Lioness. There may be some local hospitals that work with premature babies where they need burial gowns created. Um, these are all options for you. Definitely do a Google search on local organizations or charity sewing jobs. Those would be the keywords to use on Google. So look that up. If you're really struggling in this area, please reach out to me and let me know. Leave a comment below. You have to be subscribed to my YouTube channel for me to see your comments. So, ask me for some information and I can direct you there. All right, so moving on. Let's say that you already have the skills, the knowledge, you've got the tools, and you're ready to make some money this summer with your sewing. You could, option number one, become an independent sewing contractor. This is like you would work from home, you would rarely leave. Now, you could potentially be an independent contractor and work mostly from home, and then once a week or once every other week, drive to the location that has hired you. That way you can exchange the products, pick up more fabric, and get paid. So do some search online and see if there's some independent sewing contracting positions in your local area. Whatever is local to you, whatever you want to drive 5 miles, 10 miles, whatever. Type in um, sewing contract jobs, sewing jobs, plus sign your zip code and see what comes up. Definitely, it's worth a try. You might even get some opportunities that are through what are they called? Not independent, interior designers. I have had interior designers reach out to me and ask me to make custom uh, curtains, and it was a bed set. She wanted shams, bed set, and dust ruffle. At that time, I was unable to accommodate her, but I thought it was really neat that she found me and she did ask me to give her a price. All right. Number two, get hired locally but work from home. So these are really not as easy to find as you might think. A lot of people in small towns do not, they don't really need extra help, or they just don't go online and post a job. It's literally usually word of mouth. And this is where having a business card comes in handy. All right. I'm not saying you have to order some online and have them delivered or order them from anywhere. They don't even have to technically be a paper card. Yes, I still think old school business cards are useful for this type of networking because you have to remember that people aren't necessarily going to keep your digital cards, right, on their phone. It's not technically they a lot of times they just get deleted. Let's just be honest. Or they have a contact and they're like, why do I have this person in my phone? And they delete the contact. But I always try to encourage my students and you to have a paper card that you can hand out and a digital card. Let's bridge the gap between the two for just a second. If you have a paper card, it's about the size of a bank card, right? It's like literally it's just real small, right? You can put your QR code on that card on the paper card, and that QR code can link to your website, it can link to your Etsy shop, it can link to a landing page with literally just your digital card with your contact information. So, really think about what you want to do in order to make connections locally and build your relationship, your business that way. I did take a independent contractor type of position a year ago. And what I did is I made some items for a local salon. And I put my QR code on that business card and I attached the tags, the product tags that I had the QR code and my website just in case people didn't know what the QR code was for. I think after the 2020 pandemic, we're all kind of used to what a QR code is, right? It's been popular for many, many years, but rarely used. And now it's really used quite a bit. All right. So I think locally offer, you can tell them that you're going to work from home. You can let them know what type of area you're working in. I always encourage my students to have a pet free, vape free, smoke free, cook free, kid free sewing area. That way, the fabric doesn't pick up on any type of vaping scent, cigarette pipes, wood stove, fireplace. You don't want your fabric to have a scent. Um, that will turn people off and could really make your business flop. So, definitely keep that in mind when you're thinking about working for yourself. And number three, and I think number three ties in with number one and number two. But number three is start your online business like Amazon, eBay, Etsy, Shopify, literally a website. I think that being an independent contractor and being hired locally ties in with your online business because how are you going to get people to your website? Yes, keywords and advertising, but word of mouth. And, the town I come from, one person does something, 500 people find out what you're doing. That's not neither good nor bad, but it's just like, that's just how it is, right? So definitely consider having a professional online website. Like I have Sopreneur. If you watch it throughout the summer, you're going to see some big changes coming to that, but you're not going to see all the changes all at once. I do a little bit here and a little bit there when I design my websites. So those are three ideas for the sewing business for you. You do not have to sell exclusively on eBay or Etsy or Amazon or your website or Shopify or anywhere else. You can sell on all of those platforms. There's no rule that says you can only sell on one platform. You know what you want from your business and you know how many orders that you can handle. I hope, right? Hopefully that you've done that homework and you already know your limitations. Um, you need to decide if you want to stick with one product and one product line or if you're going to be open to all types of requests. Only you can set that boundary. I think that starting out with one product or one product line and building from there is better than opening your shop with three or four different services and becoming overwhelmed and not being a master or super skilled. It can really be detrimental to your business. So make sure that you know your skills and your abilities and be honest about that. And don't worry about what your competition is doing. Focus on you and how you can stand out and speak directly to your ideal customer. If you go through my playlist, we talk about customer personas. I think it was in May of 2022 that we really went in depth and how to do that. I gave out a free printable back then. If you need that printable, definitely let me know in the comments below and I will send you the link to it. It's not free anymore. It's just a couple bucks, but I can send it to you. Otherwise, go to Etsy. I'm there at Sopreneur. I'm on YouTube as Sopreneur. I'm on Facebook as Sopreneur. My website is sopreneur.com. I'm on all the social medias as Sopreneur. So definitely contact me, connect, and if you're liking what you're hearing, please subscribe to my channel. My goal is to reach 1,000 subscribers by August 1st, 2022. So I can't do that without you. All right. So um, when you are looking to become an independent contractor, it's not technically a job where you clock in and you clock out. You have to set your own hours, and you have to know your schedule and availability. And then you need to communicate that to your customers or clients. And one way to do that is to set your own store hours and stick with it. As hard as it can be to want to do everything for everybody, you have to remember that you need to keep yourself healthy and your house running, whether you live alone or you have a family or you're a caregiver for others. Always make sure you're scheduling yourself time every single day. Then schedule your business around your life. I keep telling this to my students, and I hope that it comes to you. I wish somebody would have told me that years ago when I started my sewing business. And this is not my first sewing business. It's not going to be my last sewing business. Um, Schedule your business around your life, right? Because if you schedule your business first and then your life just everything in it gets pushed away and shoved and all of that. So you need to plug your life in to your calendar first and then schedule your business hours. So hopefully I just didn't get tongue tied. All right. So think about that. Think about the investment that it's going to take, tools, supplies, inventory. I mean, if you're going to make money, you have to spend money first. Don't buy the generic cheap thread. Spend a little extra money on the thread. I have a whole playlist on how to get started, how to start your business literally with very little money of your own. Um, if you want me to update that, let me know. Otherwise, just scroll through my playlist and you will hear about that story. I've shared it a few times. All right. Do you want to sew by hand? I know hand embroidery is huge. I don't think it ever went away, but it did become one of those categories that were really silented for many, many years. But it never actually went away. Hand embroidery, custom hand sewn. I just did a $20 ratty worn nightgown t-shirt. It was somebody's favorite t-shirt, had holes in it. I think they said their dog got to it or their puppy got to it and bit some holes through it. Um, they asked me if I would do hand embroidery and put unique designs on it. And I thought, well, yeah, I mean, I've been hand embroidering for 40 something years, right? So I had a lot of fun playing with that. It took very little embroidery thread. It was not machine embroidery. It was literally hand embroidery. And I don't know if the pictures are in the playlist or not, but it was like 20 bucks they paid me. It didn't take me but 10 minutes, 12 minutes. Um, and I had a great time. So, and the embroidery thread invested in it was maybe $1 because I have hundreds of colors of hand embroidery floss. So think about what it is you want to do. You don't have to just offer memory bears. And I hope I haven't lost you yet. So if you're new to my channel, you may not know that I go by the Memory Bear Business Coach because my number one passion is to teach the art and skill of starting a successful memory bear business. That is something I've wrote the book on it. I've published a book on that. I've been teaching online classes for 2 years on that. But I want you to be able to think past just memory bears. I know I have a very deep creative part of me that I have to n- not do just memory bears every day. I need to do a little bit of funky things, fun things. I love textile arts. I love freestyle art. And so why not make money on that? Yes, I can still take my memory bear orders, but sometimes I like to walk away from that and do something a little bit different. Um, do what works for you. It's your business, it's your goals, it's your life, and it's your dream. So put it in writing and don't feel like you have to live according to what another business owner is doing. That can stifle your creativity, and you may not see another way to make money in your business if you're just solely focused and blocking all the fun things out. So keep that in mind. If you want to offer alterations and you're a little leery about that, rewind this video to the very beginning and get some ideas on how you can do that. All right. You could do specialties like crocheting, knitting, quilting. Think about what your skills and talents line up with, because even though knitting and crocheting are not technically sewing, it is a creative outlet. It is popular and people are making money off of that. And who says you can't combine the two into sewing? I have seen some really creative arts um, where they had crocheting or knitting. I always get the two a little bit mixed up because they look so similar to me, but I don't know how to do either of them. And it's been incorporated with the memory bears and memory quilts. It's fantastic how some of these business owners work. They're super creative. So, how much can you actually make? So, if you're really new to this, really, really new, do not undercut yourself. All right. You should have a hourly rate or project rate, and you should have the list of expenses. Please, please tell me you have those. So, if you're really new and you're not really sure how long it's going to take you to make a 4-piece memory bear or a 9-piece memory bear, practice, 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 practice on your own clothes. Practice on clothes that have been gifted to somebody, and the person's like, "Yeah, I mean, if you want to make me a memory bear for a couple bucks, that's that kind of thing." Put your timer on. Every smart phone should have a stopwatch feature. So that's definitely an idea. Put your stopwatch on and see how long it takes you from start to finish. If you can get 2 or 3 hours of time blocked, and we just did a video on time blocking. All right. So time yourself. You know what? If you have a camera or some way to record yourself while you're doing this, remember, it's just for your eyes. You don't have to share it with anybody. You can see where you might be wasting time or you might forget a step, that kind of thing. And that is so helpful when you're trying to do this. But I can give you more tips if you want them. Um, expect somewhere between $10 and $25 an hour. That does not include the tools and other things that you're going to need for whatever you're sewing on. Don't cut yourself short, but don't overprice yourself either. You can go from one extreme to the next. You can underprice yourself or overprice yourself. You've got to find that sweet spot, and that does depend on who your target market is. All right, I've given this story a lot of times, maybe 100 times so far. I have a really good sweet spot. I know who I'm speaking to. I know my customers very well, and I know what it is that they'll pay for the items. I know what they're expecting of me, and I know what to charge them, and I know what my inventory and supplies are going to run me. But I didn't know that overnight, and nobody helped me with that. That's something I had to figure out on my own, which is why I don't want you to have that same headache. Something that was really helpful for me was keeping track of my expenditures on one credit card. I'm not telling you to go and get a credit card. You do what you need to do in your business. I have an LLC, I have a business card, and I try to keep every purchase I need for my LLC on that credit card. It makes it easier for my taxes, Makes it easier for everything else that I need to do. But you know what you need to do. You know what works for you. If you pay cash, I think that's great. Keep your receipts, date it. Whenever I buy elastic, I used to buy big, huge things of elastic. I wrote the date and a permanent marker at the end cap of it. And because it was shaped like a huge spool, instead of a spool of thread, it was a large spool of elastic. And I probably have that in the playlist too. But when I buy lace and trims, excuse me, all of that, I date it. I put down how much I paid for it, where I bought it. That way I can keep tabs on some of my inventory costs. Um, Again, you do what works for you. Um, know your limits, know what you can handle, and be honest about that. Don't overbook yourself. You don't want to overpromise and under deliver. That can be something that a new sewing business owner does, and you don't want to be that person because that can make you end up closing your doors rather quickly. All right, so one last tip is this: make sure that you know your schedule, you know your skill set, and you know what's going to work for you. You need to know who you want to work with. And if you really just want a job and you don't want a business right now, but you want a job, definitely consider interning at a local store and get some experience under your belt, I guess they say. Um, but keep yourself, sorry, totally got distracted there. Sorry about that. Keep yourself busy and productive, not just busy and wasting your time. If you have any specific questions, please let me know in the comments below. Now, I usually just answer questions through my newsletter on a regular basis because that person has invested or at least told me that they were actually interested in what I had to share. So there are some perks to being on the free newsletter. If you want some more helpful tips on finding a job, I suggest that you open up an Excel sheet or pay somebody to do this for you and Google what is in your area that offers sewing alterations. When I was growing up, there was a seamstress in town. Well, okay, there was two. The one seamstress did alterations for everything, literally everything: suits, ties, prom dresses, wedding gowns, all that. But the other person was only offering costumes for horse riding, equestrian, rodeo type things. And I guess they're costumes. And her work was beautiful. I wished I had the opportunity and the knowledge to have reached out to her to be an intern. But by the time I learned about all of this, she had already retired. And I believe I could have learned so much more than what I've learned over the years. So consider an interning opportunity in your area, and don't be offended if they say no or turn you down. Ask them, have you ever had an intern? What are you looking for in an intern? What could I possibly do differently to have that opportunity to work alongside of you? Because I'm really interested in this type of job. I want to make a career out of it. Don't give up. There's somebody that knows somebody that knows somebody. You just have to be willing to get out of your shell. Don't be shy. Um, and don't be rude, don't be offended, and just really work towards your goals. Continue your education. I offer several online classes. I offer one on one coaching. I offer group coaching. just reach out to me and we will connect and talk. The other classes are self-paced, but I do have some live classes coming up. So I hope to see you there. And if you like this video, please like, please subscribe, ring the bell for notifications, share it with your friends, your students, and all the people. And you have to excuse my exercise outfit. I was working out earlier. Have a great day. Bye, guys.